Alright guys, we've got this engine here, and what we're going to do is tear it down. So what's wrong with this engine is it just doesn't have enough power. There shouldn't be anything wrong with it. It's just a 1600 single port, and the story is this is for the world famous Richard McPeak. Maybe you guys know who he is. He painted the custom paint on the inch pincher, the lightning bug, and all that, the lettering and pinstriping and all that. He's done several of the Dino's Dinosaurus, many of the other famous race cars. So he used to have a 2180 in here, and maybe you guys have heard of Lee Layton a long time ago. Took his engine, the 2180 that was in it, didn't last, as a lot of times the 2180s back in that era didn't. Okay, and he rebuilt it and gave him this 1600. Well, since Lee Layton rebuilt it, nobody's attempted or anything to try and give him more power. So initially he came to me because he took it out because it had a little engine fire, and just something, I don't know what happened, but you know, probably the typical thing, the carburetor barb fell out, and he caught it before it was a big deal. And when he took it out, he bent the push rod tubes. So we're gonna do something about that. Probably put the sled tins back on. So originally it came just to fix the bent push rod tubes, and he's always complained about the power. So I was like, well, do you want it to go fast again? He goes, yeah, I do. Well, it's going to cost a little bit of money because parts are super expensive. But he goes, nah, he's 80 years old. I think he's 80. In his early 80s, I don't know exactly. But he still wants to go faster. So anyway, at least tug the thing around. We'll see the car later in this little video series of what it goes in. It's something very unique. If you see here, there is no back tin on this. So this is kind of a Baja bug situation. There's a lot of air all the way around this engine. So we're going to be doing the cooling system of like a Baja on this. We don't want to, like, there's no need for me to even put this tin back on right here behind the pulley. So I'm going to remove that. We're going to go to dual port heads. We're going to tear this apart, find out what's in it. This old ass cooling system has got to go. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to do this, having half of this fan open is, I mean, the way to do it. But you know what, be honest here. Take this off. Let's get rid of this thing here, and let's put a doghouse on here. That's the proper thing to do. All right, so we're going to put a doghouse fan shroud. The new ones look a little different. It's just like the old school doghouse, like what's in this Beetle here. And it looks like this. Okay, so we're going to put that on it. I know we're going to do that, but again, we don't know the condition of the case. And for this engine here, I've talked to Ron at CarCraft and Shane, and they're going to be doing the machine work. So if you guys didn't know, CarCraft opens up cases. They do line bores. They are the cheapest place to get anything done to your heads. So they do this stuff very reasonable. So if you want to have your machine work done there, they do that. I typically go to Brothers VW Machine Shop, especially for the 36 horse stuff. They don't do it at CarCraft. And the 40 horse stuff, a lot of that stuff they may not do for those. But for 1600s, for opening up a case for 90.5s or 92s, I think we're going to go to a 76, guys. I think the reason I'm going to do that just because we haven't done it. And maybe some of you guys want to try a 76. They're only 1 millimeter more than a 74 on each side. So 74 to 76 can give you a little more power. So we're going to try and do the 76 on this one. As long as I can get a crankshaft. It all depends on what I can get. Sometimes they run out of them and we don't know. So the case on this one is a dual relief case. So if you see here, the back, there is a second relief valve. And it's very strange on a dual relief case that it has the old school type cooler in this. Now, one of the things I got to do is check this out. Let's see if it works. A lot of guys don't like these. This is a spin-on filter. I don't want to get it all out of the package yet. Set up with an oil pump. Okay, because they say it's too close to the exhaust. But this is a Baja type thing, and there's plenty of air all around this. So what I was going to do to get a spin-on filter on it is go with, let's see if that's going to work. I believe it will. It's going to be right there, but it's going to be up, right? So it's not going to conflict with the exhaust. I don't think it'll be an issue. What about that case piece there? Should clear that. Yeah, it's got a little area for that. So what I want to do is I want to put this spin-on filter setup on it. The reason I don't want to go. So they get these. These are from AA. AA makes these, so they're not expensive. Well, they kind of are, but not that bad. So want to go with that versus having one of these and a full flow, just to eliminate some of the. I want it to be simple. I want it to be as simple. So we're going to go with the doghouse, get rid of all this hose and everything, and just have a doghouse cooler and just that. So it has a spin-on filter. Now, again, because this is a Baja, this has so much air, it's not going to run hot. All right, so that's the thing that, that's one of the things you think about. So we're going to do that. We're going to probably put cool tin on it. We're going to use type 3 tin. We're going to do some of that stuff to kind of make this thing, reliable. The whole build idea is going to be more power and 100% reliable. So it's still going to have a choke. It's still going to have a stock carburetor on it. But we're going to do some stuff to the bottom end to get, half throttle, as far as, like this thing could run with dual carbs and it'll really haul ass, okay? But it's like running it at half throttle when we're running the small carburetor on it, all right? Or quarter throttle or whatever. So we're going to probably do that. I don't think I'm going to get a 2-barrel. Maybe I'll find a 2-barrel manifold. Maybe I'll do that. But I kind of want to have a full choke situation where this thing can start up when it's cold. He doesn't drive it that often. We want it to be able to just be 100% reliable, like normal car, but have a lot more power. Because the vehicle's a little bit on the heavy side, and he just wants it to be fun. Right now, with a 16 single in it, stalker, it's not very fun. So we want it to be fun. All right? So that's what we're going to do. Let's get into it. not the correct direction. Supposed to be like, I don't like to run the gasket either because they just leak. So it should be like that. So when the oil motor spins over this way, right, it hits those things and goes back down. Anyway, somebody said something about that I got it wrong. Well, I didn't get it wrong. I just put it on there temporarily, just stuck it on there so something doesn't fall down in there while I'm working on it. I don't care on this because I'm taking it apart. Thing I noticed, it doesn't really matter at this point, but this distributor was not dropped correctly. You see the clips going this way and that way? Nope, it's not the way it would be normally. If it's dropped in correctly, your clip should be here and here, not on front and back. That's backwards. I noticed this reinforcement plate's missing here. That's no good. It's got to come off. I'm going to take the fan off anyway to replace it with the doghouse. So look, the reinforcement plate's missing. Got to change that. I got one, so we'll put that on there for the alternator. All right, check this out. 21 millimeter. This is a dual relief case. That should have a 26 in it. I'd never do that. But anyway. I mean, it might work, but No. All right, well, check this out. Let me see, double check this here, because zeroed out. I thought these looked a little bigger. I think those are 90s. I know they're not 90.5s, I'm pretty sure. That's the old 1750. And it doesn't, I don't see K-savers in here. I'm not seeing it. I'm gonna have to pull it apart to see, but I'm not seeing K-savers in there, guys. Weird. All right, another mystery here. I don't see any numbers on there. Do you guys? I'm looking. Looks like casting with no numbers. So what case is this? This is weird. All right, so here we go. 45 bus case D 211. Yeah, it's got the mounts there, huh? Brazilian? I don't know. Look at this. The numbers up here. Type 3, but it has a dipstick. So type 3 would not have a dipstick, right? I don't know these cases that well, so I'm not a case expert, you know. It's just weird. I don't know what it is. It's got numbers here, no numbers there, like a type 3, and it's got 90s in it. And then no case savers, and big studs, or 10 millimeter studs. So, and hopefully it doesn't have case savers. And if it's 90s, God, they bored this thing out to put 90s in it and put no case savers in. Weird. I mean, maybe it was already that way. I don't know. It's just a mystery. I don't know what it is. You guys can comment about it. Tell me what you think, because I don't know. I don't take enough of these things apart. Never taken one apart like this before. That's for sure. And I've taken apart type 3s. I had a type 3 case in my other engine. I don't know. And this got 90s. I got to take them out and clean the tops of them. We'll know exactly what they are then, because they're probably marked. But I have a little difficulty getting the cylinders out of the bore. Somebody used a hell of a lot of glue on them. So, yeah, it's fun. So anyway, we'll get those apart and we'll take a look at it. How to make a Volkswagen not run good. So we got to clean that piston. I know these are aftermarket ones. Well, look at the clips in them. Got the original style clips. Okay. If you look here, it says 51cc. Now, I don't think CarCraft did this. Okay. They would not. There's stuff in here I don't see that they wouldn't do. So maybe the good old Lee Layton, and they just, maybe they went through it and just put new rings in it. Somebody went through this again, because look, there's a broken thing here, and it's got 90s in it. So, Those look like maybe they're decked, but it says 51cc. Okay, now here's how to make a motor run terrible. All right, you see how much? Look at that. We're all the way up roughly. Okay, it might be 5 or 10, 5 thousandths off or whatever. I don't know, whatever. Not going to make much difference because we got this a little loose, right? Here's how to make an engine run terrible. 132 thousandths deck height. Yeah, this thing was running like at 5-to-1 or something. No wonder why this thing had no power. Well, that's one reason. 90s. I mean, yeah, give it inches, but take it all away with no compression. I mean, you're going to run on what? Kerosene or something? What the hell? I don't know. There's some, you know, first thing I caught my eye was this. I seen that size shim on there, and I was like, holy crap, what's that? 120,000 thick shim? See that thing? Yeah, those are over, I think these are 90s. So it looks like it. The 90.5s had a tapered end and a little bit thinner, I think. Well, no, you know what? I don't know what these are. I don't know what that case is open for. That's just weird. Definitely the weirdest teardown I've ever done. So anyway, let's get this one off. I want to get that piston out. But I saw this. I just thought maybe check the deck height. And that was pretty shocking. 130 thousandths deck height and 51cc heads. I mean, that's going to be like, I don't know. I haven't run the numbers yet, but it's not good for compression. So 90.43. So that's that 90.5s, I believe so. So that's what they are. Well, that's cool. Mollies. I mean, man, those look pretty good. Pistons look in good shape. But with the case savers that are in here, that's no good. No case saver. 10 millimeter studs. I'm not liking that much. It'd work, but I wouldn't run it like that. It's going to get case savers. No way I'll do it without that. The last couple guys cheaped out on this thing. So I pulled one of the studs out. I couldn't see very good. And once I got up close enough, you can see there, the case savers are there. So, yeah, but it's really odd that they went with 10 millimeter studs. You know, I usually, when you do a case saver case, you know, I don't know what this one would have had. I don't know what this case is. If it had 10 millimeter studs in it, let's say it had 10 millimeter studs, usually what I would do is put 8 millimeter case savers in it and then put, 8 millimeter studs in it, even if it was a 10 millimeter case, so that, so that if you want to open it up, you can, right? But if it's case saver to 10s, you can't do anything. I mean, certainly can't open it up any bigger. But, I mean, everything looks brand new. Look at the rods. Everything inside's clean as a whistle. I mean, looks brand new inside. And it doesn't have that many miles on it. And the end plate was marked on it. I mean, you could see everything on it. So, interesting to see. I mean, it's a stock Volkswagen crank. We can see that. There's no counterweights on that bad boy. So, but man, I have no idea why they had the compression down that low. Let's look at the other side just to be safe. We'll see. Well, I don't usually need a case splitter, but this one, man, did they ever glue this one together. It was some sort of silicone. It wasn't like the stuff we use. And it was stuck together crazy. So I had to use every means possible to get it apart. Yeah, it took me a good 10 minutes to get it through that. I don't know, this case is all glued together. Man, they really glued the nuts out of this thing. There it goes. I think I got it. Wow. Silicone. God, why? Line bore's good. Brand new. Crankshaft, all that's perfect. It just all the wrong stuff to make it go fast. All right, guys, if you want your car to have no horsepower, this is the perfect example right here. Give it no compression in a big cam. It's not even that big. It's a W100. I don't know what that little line is in the gear there. You can see that. I don't know what it is. There's some gear lash in it. Okay. That's good news. So we can use that gear again. And it's a W100. Okay. I think we're going to go with a 110 though. That's a thing. He wants a rougher idle. What the hell? Numbers up. No rod marker on this one. That's weird. Let's look at the other ones. You can see that? There's a rod marker on that one up. I can feel it. There's one on this one up. So, I mean, somebody had some knowledge of what they were doing. But maybe they were just afraid that it was going to run too hot. And, you know, it was probably running hot because, why? Because, you guys, because this right here, that fan covering the fan, look at that thing. I mean, oh, it's running too hot. Okay, well, put a doghouse on it. Solve the problem. Don't, you know, take the compression all away and give it no power. I mean, I think we'll just counterweight this thing, put a nice 76 in here. You know, I still think I got to put a bigger cam. If I got to go, if I'm going to do, give it some juice, man, we got to get a little more cam for that. If I'm going big, you know, going to 76, I better go to at least a 110. That's what I'm thinking. I don't know. You guys comment below. Tell me what you guys think. You know, I haven't got the parts yet. I'm going to get this case over to CarCraft, and I get a 26 millimeter oil pump. I mean, a 21? I mean, I guess it'd work. I mean, the case is made for a 26. That's what I don't understand. That's where I'm like puzzled. Okay, you have a case that's made for a 26 and you put a 21 in. Maybe that's just all they had. The people who worked on it. I don't know who built it last time. This doesn't look like Carcraft's work, you know, so I'm going to say no. I don't know what's going on. I think maybe they worked on it, but they didn't build this. I think this is probably still Lee Layton stuff. I don't know. And I don't know what his concept of putting a 21 in. Maybe too much oil pressure creates heat, he was thinking. I don't know. Don't think so. But I mean, when they came with a 26, this case. Oh, in the case, I was just looking at it. So it's a U case. So it's got this. So I guess they didn't have numbers here. I don't remember. Look at the scoring on that center main. Holy shit, that doesn't look good. Is that score? It's kind of. Well, not surprising with a 26 millimeter oil pump. I mean, a 21. I mean, the cylinders look to me like they've got quite a bit of wear on them, but the pistons look fresh. It's just weird. I don't know. You know, look at that cylinder. It's, you know, look at the scoring on that. And the other thing I was looking at too, you know, this engine was supposed to be running good and everything was fine, but the piston pin, I can feel wear on there. So I was getting starved for oil at the top end, I'm pretty sure. Let's say the crankshaft could be polished up and reused for sure. I mean, but we're not doing that. We're going for more power, so let's put a 74 in this baby, make it run. 8-dowel crank, that'll help it a little stronger. You know, put a Titan flywheel on here just to get it, you know. I want it to be juicy. When he gets in it, steps on the gas, sets him back in the seat a bit. That's what we want to hear. So this is kind of what I summed up on this thing. I got it off to the machine shop, kind of looked at everything. A few things that were messed up on it. This was making it run hot. Pistons had some wear from that probably. I mean, you lose all that airflow going into the fan. That's a no-no, guys. If you're doing that, definitely change it up. Don't put the cooler there. If you have that sort of a cooler, put it over the transmission, put a fan on it. I think the 21 millimeter oil pump was causing this thing, and he was running synthetic oil, so the synthetic oil is real thin and it didn't have enough oil volume to maintain oil pressure. I mean, the engine was running fine. It didn't have any knocks or noises or anything, but that's why the scoring was on the bearings. I did notice too, when I pulled apart the springs, I was going to show you, they're the nice, bright, shiny, high pressure springs. So those were in here, and they're coming out. We're going to put stock ones back in. I believe 60 pounds is plenty of oil pressure. I don't know why they're over pressurizing it like that. I don't know. So it was another weird thing I saw like that. But anyway, what are we going to do here? You guys are going to want to come back for the rest of the videos on this. We are going to go bigger. We're going to go to 2021. So we're going to go to 76 stroke, because I haven't done a 76 stroke on the YouTube channel, so I figured, well, it's time to do it now. The issue I was running into is heads. I think we've got that worked out. We cannot, there's limitations here, guys. There's always limitations. We have 1 3/8 exhaust. He has this header. He doesn't really want to change that stuff. I think he still wants to have the heaters to work, because obviously he has the tube still on it and everything. So we don't want to have to change to big flange heater boxes and all that. That stuff can get real pricey. So anyway, what we're going to do is just stick with the 1 3/8. So we're going to use stock valves. Is how you do it. You go too big on the valves, and that airflow starts to go through that exhaust, and it starts to cause a lot of heat. So that's why we're going to have to stick with, since we have 1 3/8 exhaust, we got inch and or this is 1 3/8 here, right? I believe these are. Yeah, maybe are. Yeah, maybe they're 1.5 inches. No. Inch and 3/8. Yeah, a little one. Inch and 3/8. Not an inch and a half. They're stock heater boxes. So we're gonna stay with stock valve size to make it work. Probably, it looks like we're gonna go with an ENGINE 110. Again, I don't want to go too big on the cam. We're not gonna be able to push. We're not gonna have air. We're gonna have enough flow going through this thing. We're gonna have a lot of. So it's gonna have a lot of torque and some horsepower, of course, and mid-range horsepower. So it's gonna be a little kind of a different setup. And the ENGINE 110 will bring that with that engine size. So again, bigger cam, more top end. Okay. When you make the engine size bigger, you need a bigger cam, right? So, or bigger valves, one of the two. You can either have a really big cam, stock valves, go a little bit smaller cam, bigger valves, or you can do big cam with big valves and have a lot of top end, and that's how you get horsepower. But it'll come in at the top. We're not looking for race stuff, so we're just kind of go with something in the middle. I think 110, 2021. Stock valve size is going to work right. I don't know. It's always a gamble. You guys can find out by watching me do it. All right. So anyway, that's what we're doing. Talk to you in the next video. Please like, share, and subscribe.